Greetings, Decalipa here. I wanted to make this video as a sort of a follow-up, a bit more of a rambling, let's say, of a man who has been within this boiling pot, truly frogging it, like the French, really making sure that I gotta know what I got going on in here. It is a big thing to swallow, and I have been pondering quite a bit. Whatever happened to an honorable duel? Straight up, like, whatever happened to dueling someone, an opposition, with honor? What happened with that? Where did we lost that? Where did that go away? Why is that gone? Why is it that nowadays a fight, be it of wits or bronze, must end only when the other person is grounded into the soil? Why is that? Why? I don't get that. It's completely alien to me. It really is. I try to understand where people get a very, very intense hate to completely annihilate. Because half the fun of a duel is simply to see what's going to happen with the one that can challenge. What happened to that? Why is it fully, if it's already us against them, why is it now it's us or them? When did that become a thing? Fully. I know it's always been a thing. I know that we've been killing each other, truly, utterly erasing each other for eons, millennia. But there was sort of, I would say, a balance, Throughout history, you'd had characters like that. You had your Red Barons, you had your Trajans, you had your Alexander IIs. You had leaders who looked at the opposition, they were like, yeah, fine, get to fight another day. They did not annihilate each other because they knew the each and every single one of them made themselves better. Lionheart didn't kill William Marshall. He took him under his wing. He pardoned him everything. He was like, you're good. You're good. I can respect that. Where do we lose that? Where? The amount of people completely, utterly, without any sort of remorse, celebrating this, truly celebrating it, is disgusting. Completely. It's fully inhuman. Because that sort of complete disregard at one's annihilation should be lobbied at someone that truly deserves this. Your Hitlers, your Stalins, your Genghis, they get it. They deserve it. The serial killers, the monsters, the murderers, they get it. This guy, the most he did was talk. That's literally the most he did. At his worst, he was insufferable. Do you know how many insufferable people I know? And do you know how many of them, in my mind, deserve a slap or a proper beating? But that's it. Just a couple. That's it. That's all they need. Just a couple. That's it. Just so he knows. Just so he understands. You sober him up. You let him get up, leave, go home, kiss his wife, hug his children, see his father, talk with his mom, The amount of people I know that deserve that sort of course of action is in the thousands. But it never ends with death. And even if death were to occur, jubilation is not what follows. You don't celebrate that. You don't celebrate it. You don't have to feel remorse. You don't have to feel pity. You don't have to feel sorrow. But you definitely don't feel happiness. You can be indifferent if things are that bad. There are people in my life that I truly, if they were to pass, would not care in the slightest. But actually showing glee. What other word is appropriate than monstrous? I heard someone say that the US has a very, very strong influence in the fact that everybody else kind of listens and follows. I hate that. I hate that because it's not true. It really isn't. This is one of the narratives that makes the Americans extra full of themselves, and a lot of their institutions and mechanisms that propel the US empire a little bit more full of itself and a little bit more grandiose than it actually is. Because you see, the world doesn't follow what the US does, but the world definitely reacts to it. Definitely feels reverberations going through all facets of life. An uncle of mine said that when the US coughs, we get the spray. When the US farts, we smell it. And when the US takes a dump, it gets dumped on us. Not everybody in the world is a big player. Not everybody in the world has the pull that the United States has. But here's the problem. If you have the pole, the head of the machine, the cogs, the everything, that everything else reverberates around, if that's broken, everything else is gonna get the worst of it 5 times fold. Because in a machine, when a cog breaks, you don't start feeling the big problems till like the 5th iteration onwards. That's when everything starts to break down. The problem is not that the US has the stage, has the mic, has the boombox. That's not the issue. The issue is that we have fucking amateurs at the mic when we need fucking Maiden playing. When we need Metallica at its peak, we got cover bands running the shit. As already foreseen, people are now already parading Charlie's corpse for their own whatever. Gun control this, violence that, political this, discriminatory that. As someone who truly does not care for the American way of life, does not care what the Americans do to themselves, but really cares about everything that happens because of them across the globe, my interest is that whatever the issues are, fix them in the privacy of a controlled home that's under order, not this law of the jungle shit. Not that. That's not what you guys can afford. I'm sorry. If you want to play stadiums, you got to make sure that the sponsors are happy, that everything else works. You don't shut down every single road around the stadium, and you don't let anybody else do business there. That's not what's up. There's many sites that are just curating their whole thread on what they want the reality to be. Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, X, doesn't matter. Every single one of them is pulling a thread that they want the reality to warp around. But I'll go outside. Just like go outside. Don't listen to any of this. It's such unfiltered, unorganized chaos. Go outside. Talk to your neighbor. Talk to your elderly. Talk to the young. Talk to the Protestants. Talk to the Catholics. Talk to the Muslim. You know it's bad when you meet an acquaintance, good man, a Musliman, a good Musliman. You talk to Mohammed, you talk to him, and when he starts speaking about this, he doesn't say, oh, by Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He doesn't go any of that. He completely skips Gog and Magog and simply says, brale, this shit, it's like Sauron. You know how bad things have to be for a Musliman to completely ignore Quran lore and switch to the Lord of the Rings? Bro, what are we doing? What's going on? The Chinese Empire fell because the barbarian Mongols burned it down. The Abbasid Caliphates fell down because the Mongols burned it down. Rome fell down because the barbarians burned it down. Byzantium fell down because the barbarians burned it down. Truly feels like a barbarian invasion, but not an invasion of an actual force, of actual barbarians, but rather it is the barbaric mania, the berserk, the frenzy, just spreading, uncontrolled, completely unchecked. It's been standard throughout human history that people hate what they know but do not like. But people ever more fear what they don't know and cannot even figure out if they like or dislike. Do you know how bad it has to be for a Catholic, a Musliman, an Orthodox, completely just putting aside everything that the nation states went through for the past 200 years, to completely ignore it and look at what's happening now around and be like, brale, what is this? People I know that are not on the internet in any way, completely, utterly, never were a part of this, know what's happening in Nepal. They burned down Nepal. It's gone. No news speak of it. And yet, fucking Rami Zovarevka knows all about it. Thailand has been burning for I don't know how many months now. Sincha Slavtina knows all about it. How do you know? TikTok. Brale, TikTok. Everything. TikTok. How do you know? Facebook. All of it. And what did Facebook said? They are the bad guys. The other ones are the good guys. And what did TikTok said about that? Well, actually, TikTok said the other guys are the bad guys. And these guys are the good guys. Revka, Sincha, Bojan, Zoran, Peter, Primoz, Oliver, none of these should know what's going on. None of them. None of them should know what's going on in all these corners. And they should not be so charged with a primal instinct, this complete propulsion of both body, mind, and spirit to react in such a visceral way that completely overrides all reason and logic. A person should not react this intensively to it. I try to keep a calm and collective mind about this. I truly do. Try to keep it down. Right now, I got most of this stuff out of my system. I thought it through. I really did. And it's very, very concerning about everything that's going on, not in the sense that why it's going. I understand why it's happening, but I really cannot comprehend like how everybody is just in complete denial and not trying to communicate in any way to anybody else. For the longest time, I was saying, don't call them a nacionalista. Don't call them an Islamophobe. Don't call them the American shit, the racists and stuff like that. Don't call them that. Don't call them. Don't overdo it. Because if you do, there will come a day when you will say nacionalista, and they will say, yeah. And when that happens, then you'll see how bad things can really get. Because I've been saying for a very long time in private, because I wasn't online back then yet, but I was saying these people are opening slowly Pandora's box. They're opening something they don't understand what fully. They don't fully understand it. They don't understand what's going on. They don't fully comprehend on what will come out when they open it. The reason why, when they drop the nukes, everybody from the miner who mined the uranium all the way to the Japanese people that had to scrape off the shadows off the walls, the reason why none of them were ever dropped on civilians afterwards, because everybody collectively realized that, oh shit, this is something that we should not have unleashed. And now that it's out there, you stock up, you stock up, you stock up. But the reason why Putin never sent one to the US and the US never sent one to Putin is a very, 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 very solid reason. And that is they're afraid. They're not crazy enough. These men, people in charge, they're not stupid, but they are completely and utterly greedy, vain, careless, completely. I will live like a king and I will die in my comfy grave, and everybody else that follows be damned. The reasons why they didn't fall is because scared, weak men cowered at releasing that power. The reason why that is a problem now is because when you keep poking and poking and poking and trying to make it worse and worse and worse and worse out of that chaos, you're going to give birth to a brave, fearless maniac. And that's what that feels like nowadays. All of you who feel like you're going insane, you are. All of you who feel like you are being completely and utterly just fooled with, you are. You are. It's happening to you. It is happening completely. They are trying to completely fry every single shred of sanity you have by over bombarding you with information, by over gilding you with fear and warmongering, and I don't know what. They're trying to grind you and break you down. And now we are in a race. We truly are in a race for the stoics and the maniacs to get one of them at the helm faster. For the sake of nukes not flying, diseases getting released, the purge just becoming a reality, that is the end game, by the way. It's not OnlyFans. Nah. When we start charging people premium for decapitation videos, just execution videos on the spot, when we start charging money for that, full Eldari style, when we start doing that, then we're over. Then it's done. It's done. And right now, we are primed with candidates that can usher in that reality. They're out there. It's not that they will be here, they are here. They're out there in the wild. They are. All the people that are nacionalista, a Christianophobe, Islamophobe, racista, whatever. All of these that were branded as such for the past, I don't know how many years. Now, fuck it. I am. Right now, the big thing, what everybody should try to do most, is to fight this insanity. If they feel their minds slipping, if they feel like they are getting more and more insane due to the insanity, the chaos, the ridiculousness revolving and just unraveling around them, they need to chart a course. Steady the mast, look to the stars, and chart a course. They need to do that. That is right now, that is the most important thing. Because it is insane. You can't afford a house. You can't afford a wife. You can't afford anything. It's hard to get a wife. It's hard to get a husband. It's hard to get an education. It's hard to know what you want. It's hard to know for what to care for. It's hard for all of that. And it's driving you insane. But you gotta understand, you cannot fall into that despair. You cannot fall into the complete, utter complacency of despair. And one must walk upon the jagged, burning, sharded stones of a hopeful future. It's not going great. Many of us that are now in the workforce, many of us that now have to do this day in and day out, build a better home, build a better family, build a better future for those who came before and those who will definitely come after. We really have to do a lot of heavy lifting because we've inherited a world that is just awful. But we can't really just give up. You can't, because once you do, it's just gonna get exponentially worse. What needs to happen is for sanity, fellowship, compassion, belief in God, belief in goodness, to like truly overrule and just understand that like the world is not a fairy tale. It's not fair. It's never going to work like a Hans Christian Andersen story. Never. But you cannot eradicate the opposition. You can't. And what we have now seen for the past couple of, I don't know how many decades, you can't let delusion win. You can't. The world is not overflowing with Nazis and pedophiles and rapists and all that. They're not in the legions out there. They're not. There are out there, but they are the minority. But when you make everybody that, the world truly starts to warp around that. A lot of people like to think that we are in fact like, you know, the Empire of Man, the Imperium, the Eldari. Nah, we're fucking orcs. We are orcs. We will our reality into existence. If we say the world sucks, brother, it's going to fucking suck. For years, people have been saying everybody is awful and just destructive, and it happened. It became true. The reason why Rush Hour is amazing, and in the 90s and the early 2000s, it worked, is because for decades beforehand, people were saying we are equal. I remember Morgan Freeman saying, don't call me a black man, just call me a man. We're equal. This doesn't play a part. That was the message for decades. And in the 2000s, it bore fruit. Then all of a sudden, we went back. Undo that. No, all that good stuff. Stop. Stop it. Stop it. No, 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 no. Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back to all the bad stuff. Yeah. Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker, they don't rule. They're not cool enough. Bring it back. You must find your star, your North Star. You really do. Hold on to it. I say religion is a good one. I really do. I really think religion is a good one nowadays. Jesus Christ, Allah, whoever. These are tried and true. They work. They really did. Jesus is a good one. Muhammad, he is a good one too. If you really know these religions, if you really know these codes, if you really understand what they are and not what man has done in the name of them, if you can really separate that, you can see they're good North Stars. Nowadays, as someone who has ample reason, who can name off a lot of ample reasons to hate this and that and those and that, a lot of groups nowadays seem more and more like Brale. Even the stuff I disagree on you, at least I can deal. If we two are to disagree and truly everything goes to hell, I can maneuver with you. This, what's going on? I don't even know how you would maneuver with that. I really don't. It's messed up. I don't. Family is another good one. Family, truly, if you got a good one, if you got good uncles, good cousins, good grandparents, good parents, good brothers, good sisters, if you have good those, cling on to them. Really do. Because fellowship, friendships, true friendships are really hard to come by nowadays. I know. I lost two of them. The only two people I would consider my best friends were no longer are. And as someone who played a major part in that, there was a lot of it that was my fault, but a lot of it was even not. Matters not. All I know is that I lamented. I realized what I lost. It hurts, but you gotta persevere, push on. Even as someone who lost a friend, a best friend, was completely see that happen to him. That is not talked about. The death of a friendship. Your homie, your brother, not in blood, but in arms, just completely desert you. And you, in many ways, disappoint them. It is something to be cherished. Those are three, as of now, that I know of. Three. What comes next? I really do not know. I don't know. Things can take a big turn in a lot of ways, very fast, very quick, very drastically. But know this, really know this. It's gonna define what follows. What's gonna start happening in these next couple of weeks, this month, the aftermath of that. This is gonna go into history books. It will. It's gonna hurt. But I just really hope, be it by just pure human will, God coming to our side, whatever, the sheer goodness of this Mother Earth to truly come to our aid and snap us out. Because this mania can't spread, and you Americans, you really need to get your house in order. You really do. Do not despair. Things will change for the better. They will. We need to keep pushing on, because that is the only way they will get better. You're not crazy. It is that hard. But you will push on, because they so and they being all the institutions, all the individuals, whoever, they so intensely depend on you believing the mania, just will it into existence. Work style. If you just believe, you're gonna lose. So if you just stand up to it, mind, the spirit and body is gonna follow. Thank you for watching. I hope you're doing well. Please eat, please hydrate, please exercise. Thank you for watching, and thank you.